All right, Find Five, Ugly Five. 5 best, 5 worst teams in the NFL, as voted on by our crack staff here. Find 5, Ugly 5. Let's do the Ugly 5 first. See who the worst 5 teams in the league are, according to us. All right, number 5. I'm going to start it off. Atlanta's in. Atlanta's in the Ugly 5. They've lost 4 straight. Their defense stinks. The coach is probably going to get fired if they lose again. I don't know what's going on with that team, but we talked about this yesterday. The Cowboys have had 3 bad losses in a row. The Eagles lost to the Falcons. That's a bad loss. I mean, that loss looks worse right now. You lost to the damn Falcons, and they got the Rams this week, so they might lose again. And they play the Seahawks, and then they're at the Saints.
Hey, I think it's cool to have some new entrants into the Ugly 5 since we've been, yeah.
Anybody disagree?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No,
I agree. I mean, number 5 for me, guys, is not the Falcons, but stay tuned. It's the New York Jets. And
coming off a win.
Coming off a win. That's right.
They're
still bottom.
They moved up the list. I had them on like 2 or 3 last week.
That's true. You probably had them even lower.
I had them 3 last week, so they're 5 now.
I had them 3. They moved up.
Yeah, they're close
Moving
to.
up on this list is good.
It is good, right? So they just make it for me. Obviously, everyone knows the story with them. Still a mess, but hey, I guess a nice win. We'll see how bad or much better the Cowboys season gets, but. Good on the Jets for getting 1 win for now.
All right, well, I got 2 new entrants into my Ugly 5, and this first one is the 5th worst. It's a little overreactionary because I'm just outright mad about how ugly this team has looked. And that's the Los Angeles Chargers.
Ooh.
You're at home. You're playing a Pittsburgh Steelers team that is on a rookie free agent quarterback that wasn't even on the team when the season started.
Sounds like someone bet them.
Might have been my lock of the week. Might have been part of why I'm overreactionary, but you can't lose that game. And they were down 2 touchdowns at one point in that game at home. There was a play. It was a James Conner touchdown where he catches the ball along the right sideline, and nobody tackled him. Nobody even looked interested in tackling him, and he ran the whole way in for a touchdown. The Chargers are terrible right now.
Number 5 is a little aggressive. Just my opinion.
They
Obviously, it's
would
your
lose
list.
to the Cardinals and the Jets if they played right now, in my opinion.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right, number 4 on the list. I'm going Jets, Jets, Jets. Last week I had them at 3. They won a game against Dallas, a game they were supposed to lose. I moved them up on the ugly list, but they're still not one of the, they're still one of the worst 5 teams in the league overall. But my question really is interesting. Like, is Darnold one of those quarterbacks? Like, we got one finally. Is he that level of guy?
Well, he's pretty darn close given how bad they were 2 weeks ago and how good they were last week. I mean, there was really only one guy to come back on that team, and
it is crazy though to think about the difference just from in 1 week.
In 1 week,
one guy. I know he's the quarterback, but still, that was impressive. The shift in just play that we saw,
and he made some big throws. He did make some big time throws.
He did. Good for him. Number 4 for me, fellas, is your number 5, Mike. The Atlanta Falcons. They're a mess. I mean, you could even put them higher in this list. I feel like at this point, head coach has to be halfway out the door. They are tied for last in the league with the Dolphins with least amount of sacks, 5 all year. I mean, you can throw out as many stats as you want about this team, but they're number 4 for me.
They are for me as well. I kicked the Cardinals and the Jets out of my ugly 5 so that I could put the Chargers in 5th and the Falcons 4th. The Falcons just lost to the Arizona Cardinals. They lost a game in which their quarterback threw for 400 yards, was not picked off, I believe did not turn over the ball at all and wasn't sacked or something crazy. And threw 4 touchdowns. I don't know how you lose a game when you have a quarterback throw 4 touchdowns, 400 yards, complete 80% of passes, and not turn the ball over. But somehow, the Falcons did it. That's how bad they are.
All right, number 3. I like the Falcons being on everybody's list. I had them as 5, but you guys thought they were even more egregiously bad. I like it. Number 3, and I think we all know who these top 3 are right now. I'm going to go Washington. They were my number 1 team last week, and a lot of that was cosmetic. They had fired the coach. They had been awful. They won last week. So I dropped them down 2 spots to 3, but let's not think everything's fixed out there in Washington as they still have big problems in the from ownership down to the GM, and they're going to start, looks like, Case Keenum this week.
Yeah, they're an absolute dumpster fire. Their quarterback's passer rating as a group is 46, ranks 31st in the NFL. It's so bad, it's impressive.
Wait, 34? Who's worse?
I got to imagine Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, they're an absolute joke. Fifth most turnovers in the league. They can't control the ball. And we all know the story. They come in at number 3 for me.
They are 3 for me as well. They are just god-awful.
Yeah.
And, we talked in the All-In podcast that'll come out later about whether or not they can cover the 10 that they're giving at home to the cross-country traveling 49ers on Sunday. It'll be very interesting.
All right, number 2, Cincinnati. The Bengals are 0-6, which, by the way, is actually the worst in the league because the Dolphins have only played 5 games. They've lost 6 in a row. They've given up 159. They're a minus 62. And, I feel like the Bengals, who are they? They got Dalton as the quarterback. They got a new coach. I mean, that Dalton thing you would have to think that they have to figure out a way to rip that Band-Aid off and start new.
It's amazing that he's never been benched, never any issues.
Never. Well, they never had anybody.
I was like Greg McElroy.
Right, they got from Bama, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about with that team, AJ Green? Do you keep him? Do you try to trade him? Is that team a team that you start calling and saying, hey, you're 0-6, come on, man?
The problem is, and we talk about this with the tanking, if they get Justin Herbert or who's the other quarterback? Oh, Tua, right? If they get one of these top quarterbacks, that guy can walk on to a team that has Tyler Boyd, AJ Green. I mean, they can turn that thing around, mix in pretty quickly as long as they get a quarterback and some decent linemen. So I don't think that they should feel the need to trade AJ Green unless they get blown away, which is basically what we're seeing now on trades, blown away, right?
Yeah,
First-round picks galore.
And you've mentioned the line, Geoff, and that's been a big factor, obviously, with 3 starters going down this year for the Cincinnati Bengals. They come in at number 2 for me. They're an absolute joke. Yeah.
Now, if we all knew the Dolphins were really, really bad going into the year and could go 0-16, but if we were all taking a survey and someone said, what would be the team that says to Miami, hold my beer, it would be what team, right? And I think we would all say, well, the Bengals. I mean, of course, the Bungles. And they're absolutely doing that right now. As Mike Gill just said, they're actually worse because they have one more loss than Miami because they played one more game. So congratulations to the Bengals for saying hold my beer, although I still have them at number 2, not yet number 1.
And Miami at the top of the list as the Dolphins lost again last week, but they fought hard. Washington won, and they bounced from 1 to 3. They beat Miami. It's a bad job by me giving them 2 jumps. But
they play each other this year? Is there a Bengals-Dolphins game on the ledger
I don't think so.
Oh,
that's
just
double
too
check.
bad.
Yeah, I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure
Bengals,
no.
Dolphins, yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. They definitely do.
And it's the second to last week of the year.
The Tua Bowl.
Perfect.
Oh, my God. Imagine the cast of misfits and street free agents that are going to be playing in that game.
They should just do rock, paper, scissors for that
Craig
game.
James will be in that with somebody's secondary.
Craig
I'll tell you what, can you imagine if both those teams are still 0 in the final second
True.
week
Oh,
of the
my
season?
God.
True.
What's going to happen
Miami's
if it's a one-possession
not gonna go
game?
defeated. I'm sticking with that. Not that that's crazy, but
Seriously,
they're
going
gonna
to
win a game.
What happens if it's like a one-possession game and both teams? Danny Dalton drops back. Wait, he just
What would
fumbled.
happen
He fumbled.
Can you imagine if they tied in that game and then the first pick of the draft was on a coin flip?
Oh, that'd be legendary.
Oh, my God.
That'd be so perfect.
All right, let's get to Fine 5. These are the 5 best teams in the league. Ugly 5 in the books. Fine 5. Here we go. Number 5. I'm going to go Kansas City as number 5. They've lost 2 in a row, and I get it, but I still think when push comes to shove, I think Mahomes is a little more injured than we're being led to believe. They had a streak of 25 straight games of scoring 25 or more. They haven't scored 25 the last 2 weeks. So I got to think something's going on with Mahomes. So I'm going to keep Kansas City in my Fine 5. And even though I know they lost to Houston, and Houston's 4-2, and I guess there's some other teams that, Green Bay's 5-1. I didn't include them, and there's some others. I'm going to go Kansas City.
Wow. So Kansas City is out for me, boys. They come in at number 6. They
What are you
just
two
missed
smoking?
the Fine 5. Seattle comes in at number 5 for me. Russell Wilson is now the betting favorite to win the NFL MVP at plus 220 on DraftKings. Passing Patrick Mahomes at plus 225. He's been absolutely outstanding. Seattle 5-1. They look like they could be a problem. So they're in. Chiefs are out.
I got the Packers, which is the first time this year I put them in there. 5-1. Yeah, they probably should have lost that Lions game. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, they're 5-1. They beat the Vikings, who look pretty good right now. They beat the Lions, who are off to a really good start. They beat Cowboys in Dallas. So I think that they're deservedly of the 5th spot.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out number 4. I'm going Seattle. The Seahawks is a team that starting to like a lot. I liked them at the beginning of the year. I think, trying to go back to week 1 in the preseason when we did this, and I had Seattle in the preseason. So I've been with Seattle pretty much the whole way, but they're probably better than I thought they were. And at 3 straight wins, got a big game at home this week. I like Seattle.
Number 4 for me, guys, is the Green Bay Packers. 5-1. Rodgers looks absolutely brilliant, as he always does. I mean, not brilliant. He's had some ups and downs, but they don't have a ton of weapons. Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, outside of that, 2 good ones, but not as strong of a team on paper maybe as they've had in the past, but they look dangerous right now, so they come in at number 4 for me.
I got the Seahawks. They figure out ways to win. Just when you think that there's something wrong with them or they don't have it here or there, they're well coached. They're exceptionally quarterbacked, and their front office is they identify talent as well as anyone in the league. 4 for me.
All right, next up, we got number 3. I'm going San Francisco. 5 straight wins. Defense. They've only given up 64 points this season, which is second best to New England, who's given up 48. Their offense, 147. They're a plus 83. I love what I see from San Francisco. So I'm going 49ers, number 3.
Yeah, they're number 3 for me as well. So last year they finished last in the NFL with red zone drives turning into touchdowns. They've made a lot of progress just from ESPN.com. They're up to 46% touchdown rate in the red zone this year, and we all know what they've been doing. 5-0, undefeated, surprising a lot of people. They're number 3 for me.
Well, I don't have the 49ers in my Fine 5 because Richard Sherman told me I'm not allowed to get on their bandwagon since I wasn't there from the start.
True.
So that's why I had the Packers 5th instead of the 49ers, and then Seahawks 4. And number 3, and I think this is low. I think I'm cheating this team out. The Saints, obviously 5-1 and have really held their ground without Drew Brees. They don't always win pretty like this Jacksonville win over the weekend, but they win. And every win they get without Drew Brees means they're probably going to get even better when Brees returns.
All right, 2, I got the Saints as New Orleans. You just mentioned a lot there, but I'm impressed with their defense the last couple of weeks. Their defense wasn't good early, but they've turned it around, and they've, Bridgewater hasn't put up a lot of points, but they're winning like 12 to 10, 13 to 6. They're going to have to do more with the offense, though, and you would think Brees maybe gives them that little shot in the arm. But I said a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if their offense is the same as it was last year. They're not scoring, and maybe that's Breeze, but I don't know. They missing
Kamara's
something.
numbers are down.
Right.
Yeah.
Big time.
We're going to learn a lot about the
breaking
Saints.
news.
Ooh.
That I'll dump off here in just a minute.
Okay. The Saints have a big test this week. They go up against the Bears, so I think we're going to learn a lot about them. Not that we don't know anything about them, but great defense. Their offense, as you mentioned, hasn't been anything too special. Defense has been a surprise and winning them some games, but 5-1. Breeze goes down. Bridgewater, good on him, man. 4-0. They're number 2.
My number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs. I had them at 1. I've knocked them down a little bit because of the 2 straight losses. But I got to be honest with you. I think if you guys all had to put your life savings right now on a team that you think is going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, you'd probably all put it on the Chiefs. So I'm surprised that they're out of both of your Fine 5s, although I get it. It's a week to week. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said they were out. You just dropped them down to 5, right? But that's still like you have 4 teams ahead of them. But most of those were NFC teams, so I get that too. But I still got them.
I dropped them to 5.
I still got them at 2. I think they're going to come back from this 2-game losing streak really strong too.
All right, number 1. It looks like Patriots across the board.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's in?
Yeah.
Reluctantly, by the way. I don't love that I put a team that's, in a weird way, struggling. Very offensively, they are struggling, but they're making the most of all their defense.
6-0.
And real quick, I mean, I didn't have Green Bay in. I didn't have Minnesota in. I had did not have Houston in. I didn't have Baltimore in. Didn't have the Bills in. I mean,
Panthers.
There's some good teams. I mean, the league. We have the ugly
Houston.
5, and there's 5 bad teams, but there's not like 7, 8 bad teams.
Right.
It seems that there's more in the good side than there is the bad side, which is good. I mean, you got a couple bad teams, but not as many bad teams as there are some good teams. I mean, there's the Fine 5 is more difficult than the ugly 5. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Much difficult.